Hello everyone, welcome back. In this part, we're going to talk about JavaScript syntax, variables, differences between let, const, and var keyword. So here I have empty HTML file, and here I have one JavaScript file. First, let's define my file right here, which is index.js. And now we can code here, and my HTML file is open with live server, which you can see right here. Okay, let's dive into JavaScript. First thing that we want to talk about is syntax. What syntax is, basically, it's the way that we should write our code inside of our file. We can use, for example, our console.log right here in our JavaScript. And here we can print anything that we want. And if I open my console right here, you can see it is printing. And these are called fixed values, which we define what we want right here. And if we have, for example, 3 of these and we want to change all of these, we should change all of these manually, just like this, which is not good in large programs, and we cannot maintain our program code and project. So one way of we can do this is by using our variable. And variables are basically some space which holds our value for us. For example, let's say we want the name of our variable to be var1. And here we can define what we want. For example, let's say we want this to be 15. And here, if I use var1 instead of these numbers, you can see we have 15 3 times right here. And if I change this, for example, to 14, all of them are going to be changed dynamically. And these are called dynamic or variable values. We can give bunch type of values to our variable. This is our number one that we put with no other symbols before or after it. But if we want to give this some word or text, which in JavaScript and programming language, these types called strings, which they are bunch of characters beside each other that they creating some words or sentences. For example, here we have another text too. You can see that now we don't have anything right here. And if you read this error, you can see we have our syntax error. In JavaScript, we can use both quotation mark and double quotation mark to set our string. Now you can see we have our values right here. And of course, we can have this with double quotations. Again, you can see that we have this, and these are dynamic, which means we can change only this one and all of the others should be changed. And for example, let's say in numbers, we can have some math going on right here. For example, 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. That it's going to save in this variable, and here we're going to show that to our clients. And again, here we can have other things going on. For example, if I add 65 to this one, you can see this is how it's going to be shown. But basically, for defining variables, first we need to write our variable name right here. Then we use our assign by just this equal, and here we can give any value that we want our var name and our variable to contain that. For example, let's say here we have 25 right here, but we can override these variables too. For example, here, if I select our var1 again and assign number of 98 here, you can see it's going to be changed. But we have some keywords that we can use before of our variable name that controls how we use our variables, which they are 3 keywords of const, let, and var. What these are, const is basically if we use const right here, you can see we can't assign again a variable which has defined by const. So we can't override this variable. And if I comment this out, you can see again we have this value. And pay attention, here we use value and then add something to it. We can do this, but we can change the inside of variable name again after first assignment. And then we have our let and our var keywords. Let is the same as simple one, but it controls how our variable should be accessed. And here we can see we can again change the value of our variable here. But in some cases that we're going to learn through this course, if we have, for example, some blocks of code, for example, some if statements right here, again, let's say some for loop right here, and here we define something with let, we can't access that outside of our block of code, which means right here. And you might hear this as scope. This is one scope, and this is the scope larger after this scope and part of code. But if we want to define some variables here and use all along our code, we will need to use our var keyword. And by this, we can use our variable all along our code. And again, if we use something with var, we can override that value again. Please give a like and subscribe to catch next videos.